Save us on your phone. 203-333-9422. Melissa in the Morning is back on WICC 600 AM and 107.3 FM.
Joining us back on the show is Bill Leavitt, who is the president and founder of Bridgelight Financial Advisors. And for this Financial Friday, we're going to talk about the election and whether or not it has an impact on people who are getting ready to retire, or maybe they already are newly retired. So, Bill, welcome back. So glad to have you here. How are you?
I'm fantastic, Melissa. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much. And I know I'm not much of a political person, but you'd have to be living under a rock to not see all the top news just from this week alone, whether it's the State of the Union, whether it was Super Tuesday. The election is on a lot of people's minds. And so this is a great topic, whether or not it will impact people who are thinking about retirement soon or already are retired. What do you say?
Absolutely. And, it is on the minds of Americans, as we know. It's in our faces on a constant basis. And the Associated Press did a poll recently. It says 75% of U.S. adults feel the outcome of this election is very or extremely important to the economy. So it's on the minds of Americans from a financial standpoint.
I mean, I was going to say, why is that? Because of depending on who gets into office, or it doesn't matter? It's just from that study, it was saying this is something the majority of the population is worried about. Yeah,
and I think that it is this particular election because it's so decisive. But it normally comes around every 4 years, and of course the political environment escalates it. And has the impact that it tries to have on people, right? And so, but it rightly so is something that people need to be paying attention to. They have to understand how the current economy is impacting them. But there is more important, I think, from our point of view, is that people should be making sure that they are paying attention to what is important to them. This is what we try to focus on here. There are external adversities, as we call it, out there, and we should be paying attention to those things. But people should be mainly paying attention to what they're doing personally for themselves to achieve their own personal goals. And I try to make sure that we focus on that a lot when we're helping and guiding people.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, Bill Leavitt, you are saying that we only have so much control over election results or things going on in our world. However, we do have a little bit of control on our own personal goals, staying focused, knowing how our purchasing, for example, like our spending habits, like we know ourselves, we know how we act in regardless of what could change in this election or in the next 4 years, as you mentioned, we can be putting in plans, for example, for pre-retirement that will make us feel more confident. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. And everybody should be making sure that they're saving enough. They're putting away enough money for retirement. And, a big focus that we always talk about is to prepare to have a tax-free retirement and not just a tax-deferred retirement. And, I've spoken about that quite a bit. And, of course, this goes back and ties into the economy and what our politicians are doing in terms of their tax policy. And so in less than 2 years from now, we are going to see some of the biggest tax changes, which is already written into law, that we haven't had in a long time. And I don't think people are really prepared for that. We talk about it a lot. There's plenty of things that people can be doing to mitigate it. But there is Congress is going to be coming, and, especially the House is going to vote again. Americans are going to vote for the House again this year. And that'll have a lot to do with who will be making decisions about the tax law changes that we're going to experience in 2026. And so Americans need to know that that's coming.
Well, and you also bring up a really great point, Bill, which is to be in the know. So, for example, I don't have any statistics on this, but if I were to make an educated guess, I would say most people hear kind of a broad statement, that tax changes are coming, for example, but they may not actually know what exactly those changes are and how it would personally impact them. Like, do you mind giving us an example, what we can sort of prepare for in the near future?
Yes. So first off, the tax brackets are going to increase. So they're gonna rise whether or not you're an individual or you're a joint filer. And that's immediately going to have an impact across everybody's income. Mm-hmm. The standard deductions are going to drop, which means that the first so many dollars that the government says you don't have to pay taxes on is going to go down substantially. And most people can't itemize right now the amount of what their standard deduction is. And so this is just two pieces of it, but it's a big part of it. And
sounds like a lot of unknowns, Bill. I'm stressed. Take my stress away, Bill Leavitt, please.
It's not really unknown. It's what the law says right now. We know where we're going. It's exactly what it says is going to happen. And
but the unknown is like the amounts. So like when you say the brackets, no matter where you're going to see it go up, but we don't know what that's, I guess, for like long term. So let's just say that this, and I know it's percentages, but likely the tax brackets are going to go up about 3%. Okay. So, but your standard deduction is going to go down, and they're going to adjust how much they tax you on because taxes are all tiered, right? They're tiered based upon how much you earn, and they're going to change those too, which means that the tax brackets are going to go up, but the tiers are going to get bigger, so you get taxed more on your money. Great. We love that, right? I tell you. That's why we have people like Bill Leavitt in our corner, who is the president and founder of Bridgelight Financial Advisors. So what would you recommend, Bill, and again, I know this is why people should be calling and having a sit-down, a consultation. But like what financial steps would you recommend for people to be prepared for, no matter, which candidate ends up winning the election?
Well, from a retirement standpoint, it's some of the things I talked about. One, you want to make sure you're saving and accumulating as much as you can. All right. Pay yourself first. Number one, pay yourself first. The second thing you want to be doing is you want to be positioning your retirement savings so it's in something that is going to be tax-free in the future, not just tax-deferred. Because if we're going into a higher tax rate environment, why would I want to be tax-deferring my money? To a point where I'm in retirement, I'm living off of it, this is the money that I have saved, and of course maybe I have Social Security or pension, but when I take it out, I end up getting fully taxed on it. So a balance of those things are very important, and there's ways to do that, whether or not you have a 401k or you do things personally. Mm-hmm. And you want to be making sure that you are investing your money carefully. That's important too. And one of the things we find right now is that people are concerned about what happens to the market, the financial markets in the United States during an election too, right? So elections typically, is the financial markets going to go up or are they going to go down? And, one of the things that we found is that since 1928, there has been 24 presidential elections. And the financial market, specifically the S&P 500, which is the 500 largest stocks in the United States, averaged a 9.8% rate of return in this particular year. Now, that doesn't guarantee anything, but that did happen through wars. It happened through pandemics and all kinds of other, challenging things. So carefully investing is an important aspect of this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. And I think if you've learned anything from this phone call, it's that every single person is not going to fit into the same circle peg. We don't want to fit a square into a circle peg. Everybody's different, and everybody has a different financial plan, which is why you should sit down with the experts. And so if you want to learn more information, remember, you can always go online to bridgelightadvisors.com. They also have a way of calling the office, and you can talk to them there at 203-795-7080. And again, you can find more of that information on their website, which is bridgelightadvisors.com. And I always appreciate getting to connect with you, Bill Leavitt. Thank you so much for this information. I know we'll talk again for another Financial Friday soon.
Thank you. And if they want, you can go up to our website, and we have an ebook called Tax Strategies for Retirement.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that's another great one. And obviously people have heard some of my live spots for you as well. You sometimes will have these really great meetings as well that people can come in and enjoy those. I don't know if you have one of those coming up soon.
We do. You can actually access them through our website, sign up for them. We have them on a monthly basis.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So, and we'll, of course, keep sharing the details here on WICC about that as well. Bill, thank you so much for your time, and I know we'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Melissa.
All right, Bill Leavitt again, who is the president and founder of Bridgelight Financial Advisors. Anything you may need to know if you want to contact them, see about some of their meetings that they are having. Again, those are open to the public. And if you want to connect with their team, a fantastic team over at Bridgelight, just go online to bridgelightadvisors.com. It is time for traffic and weather on a Friday. So glad you're with us here on WICC. You're listening to Melissa in the Morning.
WICC's